right. What's up, TikTok? Shh. Let's have some fun here. Let's have some fun. All right. So we're doing. We're going bongo here. All right. Okay. All right. We're live. All right. So keto versus what are we doing? Keto versus carnivore. This will be fun. This is gonna be fun. I'm getting set up. Give me a second. Be patient. Be patient, everybody. All right, one's down. All right, TikTok. Hey, I'm coming, guys. I'm coming. Be patient. I got one of my platforms went down. Man down. Why is it all shut down? The one I need to go live on is not able to. Give me a second. All right, so we're going to talk about keto and carnivore together. Well, not together. We're going to talk about separately, like kind of one versus the other. So does anybody actually know what carnivore? Well, anybody know what keto diet is? Does anybody know what carnivore diet is? I'm just curious. I'm going to go over here in just a second, but I'm actually playing around right now with carnivore. I've heard a lot about it, and it's been interesting because on one hand, I'm like, that's freaking out of your mind, crazy, batshit crazy, right? On the other hand, it's like, well, 20 years ago when I went keto, people thought that was batshit crazy too. So it's like, well, maybe there is something here. Let's check it out. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to just kind of break down the differences, but really more importantly, why am I trying carnivore right now? And then there's a variation of carnivore. I don't know if it actually has a name. Carnivore is close to a zero carb diet as possible. Yes. Carnivore is basically all meat, all animal protein based. Now, here's the thing, though, is that if you know people that do carnivore, it's really important. And this is where I got kind of stuck in my head from the science side of it, of like primitive health, is that people now, when modern day people eating carnivore they're not maybe eating the whole animal, right? Remember, ancestrally humans would have eaten every component of the animal, which I know freaks a lot of people out. They're grossed out by it, but like they're eating everything. They're eating the eyeballs. They're going to eat organ meats. They're going to eat intestinal linings. They might eat the brain. If they got their thumbs, they can get inside there, right? So these are all like, this is carnivore. I know for some of you, this might be crazy. Keto diet. So yes, when you do carnivore, you'll be in ketosis, most likely. Now, if you eat enough protein, it actually can break down and turn into glucose too. So just to keep that in mind, but most likely not enough to really kick you out of ketosis. That'd be really hard to do. And most people that do carnivore are relatively more active, healthy individuals that are, because you have to be kind of crazy and a little extreme to do it, if that makes any sense, most of the time. But a keto diet is, once again, virtually a very high or low carb diet, right? But you're going to support with a lot of vegetables. Now, there is a deviation and variations of carnivore that I'm going to talk about in a second. And I get this question a lot. Can I still drink my ketones? I won't go without these. So I'm doing carnivore with ketones all the way because honestly, you just feel way better. But yo, is this pre-recorded? No, I am here live right now, not pre-recorded. I got 5 platforms. I got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok all rolling on this thing. So carnivore, once again, is an all protein diet, but it's really important to keep in mind that if somebody was to eat carnivore, it's not about just eating chicken breast. It's eating as much of the chicken as possible. It's eating liver, so I do duck liver. I have chicken liver, cow liver. You're going to eat liver. You're going to eat organ meats. You're going to eat the whole, as much of the skin on the chicken. You want to eat as much of those things as you can, because there's a lot of vitamins and minerals and nutrients in these components of the animal that you may not get in other parts of the animal. For some reason, and at least in America, they deem that chicken breast is like the superior protein source. Just not true. There's so many other valuable parts of an animal when you look at nutritional value. The ketogenic diet is, once again, very often very heavy on protein, not necessarily a high protein, but it's more heavy on protein than for most people, unless you're doing a medical based diet. It might be more not as heavy on protein, but if you're working with me, most likely it's not medical based. So you're going to do more adequate amount of protein and a very low carb vegetables, where you do get the vegetables. Now this is the rub with carnivore and keto. Now, keep in mind, the traditional ketogenic diet is a high fat diet and moderate to low protein. But for the average person that isn't, working with a medical professional or a doctor, then you typically want to go a little higher on protein, because that can be a hiccup in the ketogenic diet. If in medical cases, it could be like that. But for most people, sounds fun, but does it help with weight loss? Yes, both diets are going to be geared towards metabolic function. So both ketogenic and carnivore are going to help with metabolic functions. There's a couple differences about it that we can get into debate about. And so, yes, if you're metabolically more functional, you're going to be more prone to burning body fat. So yes, I think Andre, you asked, this good for burning body fat? Yes. We've helped, I don't know, probably 1 million people over the last 7 years completely transform and burn in like their body, like transform. I have pictures and it's pretty amazing. Like myself, I still drink ketones in the middle of all this. But the big difference between the two, and where the argument gets involved, is that plants themselves have protective mechanisms in them, meaning that a plant in nature, well, there's two things. This is what I was telling my wife. She was asking me about this. I go, if you think about it from a primitive perspective, why, when some people could argue why vegetables aren't that important, and that's a tough argument for people, because we've been taught so long what is or isn't right for us. But if you look at it from historically, ancestrally, like go back 10,000 years ago, 20,000, 30,000 years ago, it wouldn't be very efficient for our ancestors to eat a lot of vegetables. There's not a huge reward in it. When you eat a vegetable, you don't get a dopamine dump. You don't get a neurotransmitter shift, at least not much. You're not getting a lot of energy in it. Vegetables don't have a lot of caloric value or energy. So I can see the argument behind not eating a lot of vegetables. On the other side of that is vegetables in nature they're often protected. Like let's use wheat's a bad example, but people don't realize is wheat is protected. Like we don't digest wheat very well, but that same argument could go for celery and could go for other vegetables. One of them is like lectins. You hear there's different doctors that talk about lectins that are harder to digest and that can cause inflammatory responses in our system. There's other components within vegetables that may have a higher risk factor for inflammatory responses. So the argument is carnivore is that you're eliminating all those potential risk factors, all those potential issues, where keto, you're basically saying we need to bulk up the vegetables because it allows more bulk in your stool. It allows for more satiation, more variety for people. It's safe because it's still low carb. And so therefore you're not going to knock you out of ketosis. So it gives you the ability to be in ketosis really, really well, but still have different varieties and different types of foods. For somebody like myself with autoimmune disorders in the past, I've worked through a lot of these things. There is a lot of vegetables I don't choose to have for different reasons. And because they don't work well for my system. People have heard like nightshades and how they make your joints itchy or achy. That's a factor, right? That's another factor in this concept that certain vegetables, or maybe all vegetables, aren't optimal. So this is the difference between carnivore and keto. So the one thing that right now people talk a lot about, where I'm a little bit in debate of, to be truly honest, is that high fiber, certain types of fiber, are good for improving gut bacteria. And gut bacteria has a huge impact on our immune system and our overall health. And so people want those extra vegetables to improve gut flora, which increase the environment of the gut and increases gut health. At the same time, I know people that have a really bad gut health that do really well with eliminating all vegetables. They feel better and they maybe create an environment. So this is one of those situations where it's a little bit complicated, because it could be one, by true elimination, it might make it healthier and heal. But at the other side, how do we restore it if it needs to be restored? And is there a way to do that without using vegetables? I don't know. But it's kind of fun. I'm experimenting with it. Now, there's one variations of carnivore that I've been reading about. And I don't know if it has a name. If it does, if you guys know the name of it, let me know. But it's basically people that are doing carnivore that are eating and Andre, if you want to check, William, hit me over on Instagram. We can chat. I can help you out with that dropping. I don't like to drop weight. We only look at fat. Fat is what we want to drop. Really important. But one of the things that people are doing with carnivore, there's more people that I've been seeing that are moving towards seasonal vegetables. Now that's a little bit of a oxymoron, I think, because most vegetables come from somewhere else. So they're always in season somewhere, if that makes any sense. But either way. seasonal vegetables that are ripe, vegetables that are, sorry, fruit, sorry, my fault, seasonal fruit. So there's some people that are moving towards all meat plus using seasonal fruit and maybe some honey. Now the argument for this, there's an argument that we can go both ways, right? Because now you may not, if you eat too much fruit, you may not be in ketosis anymore, which we know is really beneficial for you. Once again, why I drink ketones is because it keeps my ketone levels up. But on the other side of that, if you're more active, if you're active, you can tolerate more carbohydrates, right? So this is a great way that you could use that extra glucose as a fuel source, and dual fuel if you're using ours. But the one caveat to that is it's more sustainable. Number two is that I could have the argument that 20,000 years ago, our ancestors would have been more aggressive to find fruit than vegetables. So because there's a reward in it, you eat fruit with the sweetness, and there's an actual physiological experience or a result from that. So I could see the argument for why fruit over vegetables from a primitive, like why primitively we would have done that. Now, scientifically, there's some doctors out there that talk deep science on this beyond what I know, but I'm interested with the whole thing. So I've been carnivore-ish, let's say. I really actually have been for approximately 10 days now. And my biggest thing, and here's the truth, is I don't know if I really feel that much there. I definitely feel stronger in the gym, no questions. I feel stronger in the gym now, but I will tell you, it's really hard for me to eat enough protein. So but I have more room to eat more protein because I'm not eating vegetables. So I'm having more room. Now I'm getting kind of bored at the moment of food. So that is definitely something, that has definitely been something that's been challenging. It's getting monotonously boring, and I just started. And so, but I do feel stronger in the gym. I would say that's for sure. That's probably my biggest notice. I'm very satisfied. It's like, it's easier for me not to, I have pretty good discipline to not eat something that I shouldn't, but it's easier for me not to. Now, I don't know if that's because I decided I'm gonna do carnivore, or is because I don't have the temptations. It could be both. We'll see over time. I'll probably run carnivore for at least another couple weeks. And then somebody tell Luis that I'm on a live right now. We talked about it, and then I went live. My assistant, I'm like, I'm going live, and then he calls me in the middle of it. So he's obviously not on. But it's pretty cool. So carnivore versus keto, relatively, they're both going to put you in ketosis if you do them well. They're going to heighten your ketone levels, which we know that is the major benefits that people are noticing. I always tell people, like, the ketogenic diet, we know that being in ketosis is going to improve your life, right? That's once again why I drink these every day. But we also know by eliminating other factors that also improve your life. Taking away a stress, like a food stress, also improves your life. Carnivore is just a little bit more of the extreme of elimination. At the same time, it is a lot of protein, and it can improve your gut bacteria, or at least your stomach function. As for the gut, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure. That's something I'm learning. I got to understand better. But it's pretty cool. I think it's something that it's not for the ill heart. It's got to be somebody that's committed. I mean, eating liver, eating organ meats, I didn't eat brain yet, but eating the whole animal is something you can't just, it's like vegan, right? You can't just be a vegan. You have to literally learn how to do it and really be committed to it. Carnivore is the same way. There's not a lot of leeways. If you're just eating just plain pieces of meat and not the variety, you're going to miss something big. I don't want you to do that. So that's said and done. I got to roll out of here. Appreciate you all for sharing. Hey, if you want to get this, if you haven't got this yet, get back to whoever invites you to follow me, get back to them and get the bundles, get one of the bundles. If you're following me, hit me up. I'll take care of you, but play around with these. Give me your feedback. Let me know which diet you're doing and how you like it the best. Cheers. All right, I gotta go.
You need to get dressed in your dance. Can you put your socks in the dirty clothes basket? You were wearing them.